Welcome to session 6, which is on digitalization and core IT assets. Yes, we are talking about storing in cloud. In this session, we would talk about the need of cloud, we would talk about models of deployment of cloud, we would talk about the new kind of cloud which is coming up, the security aspects of cloud and related aspects. To understand the need for cloud, let us take a very simple anecdote. Let us say we need an IT infrastructure worth 50 lakhs in coming 3 to 5 years. At present, we need only 10 lakhs of this capacity. However, to avoid inflation and to avoid other aspects of increasing the demand and infrastructure parallelly, we have to invest right now for those 50 lakhs. In doing this, we have to also envisage our peak load. For doing all this, we deploy an oversized infrastructure at present which might be required after maybe 3 to 5 years. Cloud would resolve such critical conditions. At personal level, let us assume I could lose all my important certificates which are passport to success. How do I resolve this at individual level also? Cloud is the answer to both the situations. For a beginner, cloud could be seen as an umbrella term which refers to internet based services which could be remotely used, which are ubiquitous, which could be commodified, which are cost effective, innovative, faster, scalable and provides all the services on demand. The key characteristics of cloud infrastructure, as some of us already know, is pay as you use, and it is always on, anywhere and everywhere, and hence I called it ubiquitous. Clouds are transparent to the user as well as to application. Clouds are flexible and elastic, that means you could scale up and down the infrastructure problem which we saw right at the outset while utilizing the resources. Also, the user need not know about how the technical infrastructure is working or how the application infrastructure is interacting with the technical infrastructure using APIs or whatever. These are basic important advantages of cloud. Clouds could be deployed by private organizations, clouds could be for general public, clouds could be owned within organizations or by communities, or clouds could be combination of all these. The various kind of cloud service models are infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. In this session, we will talk about a fourth category also, robotics as a service. Infrastructure as a service, as the name indicates, provides technology infrastructure on demand. It is provision of fundamental resources such as physical machines, virtual storage, servers, networks, load balancers, IP addresses, etc. All the resources are made available to the end user via what we call as server virtualization. The resources are accessed by the server as if they are lying in their own computer center locally. Infrastructure as a service provides full control to the computing resources through administrative access to what we call as virtual machines. They are very elastic models for future expansions. Such services are portable, interoperable and can be connected with legacy applications also. However, there are many issues of this. These issues are actually compatibility issues with legacy systems, there are security vulnerabilities, virtual machines could sprawl, data could erase, and robustness of this at isolated level is also in doubt. Examples of IaaS offering vendors are several, as some of us already know. Amazon is there, I think the service is EC2, you have Rockspace, you have GoGrid, you have Nebula, etc. Platform as a service is the runtime environment for applications, for development and deployment tools, and to provide all the facilities that are required to complete the life cycle of building and delivering web applications and services entirely from the internet. However, platform as a service has a biggest challenge, what we call as vendor lock-in. For example, applications written in Python against Google's API using Google's app environment might not work together. However, platform as a service gives several benefits, including low administrative overhead, low total cost of ownership, scalable solutions, hardware requirements are reduced. But the issues, as I said, are the same: lack of portability between PaaS clouds and IaaS clouds. Event-based processor scheduling is an issue. Security engineering of PaaS application is another issue. Examples of PaaS offering vendors are several, including Amazon Web Services, Windows Azure, Google Cloud, IBM's Bluemix, OpenStack, and Google's App Engine. Developer may have to log into these websites and use the built-in APIs to create web-based applications. Software as a service is very interesting. It provides an end-to-end deployment to the end user to use software applications. The software are deployed on a hosted service and is accessible via internet. There are several SaaS applications. Some of them could be like customer relation management, help desk application, human resource solutions, and building and invoicing systems. As you would have guessed by now, software as a service offers several advantages which we feel every day in our routine lives of office automation. For example, they provide software tools, efficient use of software licenses, centralized management of the data, platform responsibilities are managed by the providers. But the issue is browser based risks. The issues are network dependencies. Issue is again lack of portability between SaaS clouds. There are several SaaS clouds which all of us have been using all the time: Google Apps, SlideShare, Facebook, Dropbox, MS Office 365, Salesforce.com. Yes, these are all SaaS services. Remember, I said I would talk about RaaS, Robotics as a Service. It is a service model for cloud robotics and is a new business model where robots are offered as a service rather than a product to manage an organization's most manual, mundane, repetitive and tough tasks across multiple locations. RaaS have been used in office and smart factory automation, where objects come down the conveyor belt and robots can identify each object, pick it up and place it in the correct bin. In this entire narration, one important aspect which all the participants must keep in mind is about virtual machine. A virtual machine is a software implementation of a machine that executes program just like a physical machine. It shares physical hardware resources with the other users but isolates the operating system and the applications to avoid the changes across the end user experiences. A virtual machine is a very important part of cloud computing. In cloud computing, apart from virtual machines, virtualization is also a very important aspect which we must decode together. Virtualization is actually availability of virtual workplaces and abstraction of execution environment that can be made dynamically available to authorized clients by using well-defined protocols. There can be several protocols depending on the need, such as resource quota protocols for use of CPU and memory change, software configuration protocols for sharing the services across the operating systems, and for implementation of virtual machines themselves, which is abstraction of a physical host machine. Hypervisors intercepts and emulate instructions from virtual machines and allow management of virtual machines including VMware, XCN, etc. They provide infrastructure APIs and plug-in for hardware and for supporting the structures. Cloud computing must be looked as a tool for democratizing the IT resources. It has unleashed a new kind of revolution in IT world. Businesses in the developing countries have now started using the option of business software, like I talked about CRM applications that were otherwise very expensive in the traditional software world. However, now small and medium enterprises are using this at a very economical cost because of the cloud. Government of India has also initiated a cloud initiative by the name, very aptly named, Meghraj, the king of all the clouds. The whole purpose of Meghraj, which was initiated in 2013, was to provide government departments, centers and state agencies with the state owned or a public cloud. In other words, Meghraj is enabling the government to leverage cloud computing for effective delivery of e-services to the citizens. Meghraj also is providing DigiLocker to the citizens. In the second instance, which I said right at the beginning, if you lose your certificates, don't worry. If you have what is called as a private space in public cloud that is provided to all the citizens of the country through what is called as DigiLocker, then all the certificates can be safely put in the DigiLocker. In fact, Meghraj is collaborating with various service providers including transport department to provide us directly the URL of our licenses, etc. These were the benefits of cloud. However, there are major areas of security concerns in cloud environment. For example, there is multi-tenancy issue. Our app could be on the same server with different organizations and we need segmentization, isolation and policies to identify that. Localization, very important aspect, we will cover that in other contexts also. In which country is our data residing? What are the regulations affecting the use of this data? What are the service level agreements to define the performance, security policy, availability, backup, compliance and audit issues? Of course, total security is the responsibility of the cloud provider. Can we rely on the cloud provider for our data at individual level or at the nation state level? However, since cloud environment provides business continuity, it helps us to perform business impact analysis. It helps us to prioritize services to support critical business processes. It helps us to develop a disaster recovery plan in a more effective manner. It helps us to maintain our plans. Therefore, BCP and other aspects help us to use cloud and tout the advantage of clouds. This was all about the core IT asset cloud. In our next session, we would cover the implementation of all these assets in providing effective services to the citizens. This would be covered in session 7 titled as Gov 4.0, which talks about convergence of technologies and its impact on public service delivery. Till then, thank you. Jai Hind.